are you a real villain?
Well, technically, nah.
Have you ever caught a good guy, like a real superhero?
Nah.
Have you ever tried a disguise?
Nah.
All right. I can see that I will have to teach you how to be villains.
There was a little annoyances from censorship and so forth, and checking in at gates and all kinds of things. But it was understandable that such a thing had to go. In fact, most of the complaints was that the security was rather lax in places. There would be big holes in the outside fence that a man could walk through standing up. And I used to enjoy going out through the gate, coming in through the fence hole, and going out through the gate again and in through the fence hole until the poor sergeant at the gate would gradually realize that this guy has come out of the place 4 times without going in once, and he'd kind of arrest me, sort of.
Incidentally, at the time of Kepler, the problem of what drove the planets around the sun was answered by some people by saying that there were angels behind here beating their wings and pushing the planet along around orbit. As we'll see, that answer is not very far from the truth. The only difference is that the angels sit in a different direction and the wings go in a different.
Now listen closely. Here's a little lesson in trickery. This is going down in history. If you want to be a villain.
And so if you have something like wood in oxygen, there's carbon in the wood from a tree, and the oxygen comes and hits it, carbon, but not hard enough. It just goes away again. The air is always coming, nothing's happening. If you can get it faster, by heating it up somehow, get it started. A few of them come fast. They go over the top, so to speak. They come close enough to the carbon and snap in. And that gives a lot of jiggly motion, which might hit some other atoms, making those go faster, so they can climb up and bump against other carbon atoms, and they jiggle, and they make mothers jiggle, and you get a terrible catastrophe, which is one after the other. All these things are going faster and faster and snapping in, and the whole thing is changing. That catastrophe is a fire.
You have to chase a superhero on the run. Just follow my moves and sneak around. Be careful not to make a sound. No, don't touch that.
I had some difficulty with that. I kind of imagine that something like a child that runs in the road, and the parent is very upset and says it's very dangerous. And the child comes back and says, but nothing happened. And he runs out in the road again several times, and the parent keeps saying it's dangerous, and nothing happens. If the child's view that nothing happened is a clue that there was nothing going to happen, then that's going to be an accident. You could hear brakes squealing a couple of times. That's leakage, and the gas is going through the rings and so forth. But again and again, I saw in looking through this statements, this new flight is within our database, which just means nothing happened before. It's about the same as we did before, so it can't be unsafe because it was okay last time. And that is a kind of childish attitude that the mother corresponding to the engineers here,
Right.
and the management corresponding to the children. That's the way I look at it, and I don't know what you would say. Sooner or later the child gets run over. Is it an accident? No, it's not an accident.
I can live with doubt and uncertainty and not knowing. I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers which might be wrong. I have approximate answers and possible beliefs and different degrees of certainty about different things, but I'm not absolutely sure of anything, and then many things I don't know anything about. But I don't have to know an answer. I don't feel frightened by not knowing things, by being lost in the mysterious universe without having any purpose, which is the way it really is, as far as I can tell, possibly. It doesn't frighten me. I don't like honors. I'm appreciated for the work that I did and for people who appreciate it, and I notice that other physicists use my work. I don't need anything else. I don't think there's any sense to anything else. I don't see that it makes any point that someone in the Swedish Academy decides that this work is noble enough to receive a prize. I've already got the prize. The prize is the pleasure of finding the thing out, the kick in the discovery, the observation of other people use it. Those are the real things. The honors are unreal to me.
Now look at the net that I just found. When I say go, be ready to throw. Go! Throw it at him, not me! Oh, let's try something else. Now watch and learn. Here's the deal. You slip and slide from this banana peel. What are you doing?
Hey, Vsauce.
Michael here.
The United States is also working on a large, very huge bomb, bigger than any other bomb, ever, just in case.
We are number...
I had my attitude.